Welcome back. I, 32 female, hurt my husband, 38, terribly. Things have been so awkward since he found out what I did. I feel so betrayed by Lena. She should have just kept mute. I thought she considered me family. How can I make things right, take the hurt away? A fleeting attraction plunged me into the worst mistake of my life. It started when my husband and I moved into this city. Soon after our lavish wedding, he was promoted to head the new office branch, which I encouraged him to accept since I had just been fired and looking forward to a fresh start. It was supposed to be a positive turning point in our lives. He agreed because he knew I wanted this. He always looked out for me. He loved me so much. On my part, I thought that I had some feelings for him, but his wealth made him more appealing. He liked to indulge me, very doting, and I appreciated it. But Sean, my husband, is very conventional, almost traditional in certain areas like finance and our sex life. He believed in taking care of his woman, which I loved, but he also just wanted the same old styles. No adventure, and I didn't know I was missing out on so much spark until I met the gym instructor. He was the perfect match for my feistiness. I became acquainted with him, the gym instructor, through Lena's women's club. Lena, the reason I'm in this mess. My husband, Sean, introduced me to Lena, the wife of his cousin who had lived here for nearly 8 years before getting married to his cousin 3 years ago. I was finding it hard to get a job and navigate the city. It got me frustrated, and I needed ways to keep myself busy. So Sean thought Lena would be a perfect guide, and he promised to get me an interview soon. Lena and I finally met at a spa after 2 canceled dates. We had long talks over messages and facials. When it was time to leave, she told me she would take me to see the entire city in the coming week. But first, I had to meet her friends. She said it would be easier to get information about jobs and events with them. True to her word, there was never a dull moment with these women. They did nearly everything together, and I was so happy to join them, to belong. A few weeks later, one of them invited me to join her at the gym. I'm slender, so I've never had a cause to go to the gym. I explained that to her on our way, and she laughed and said being slender and fit weren't the same thing. When I got to the gym, I was immediately impressed by how spacious and aesthetically pleasing it was. So I agreed to subscribe to this exclusive gym, as my date had called it. My date, who was already a premium subscriber, left with her gym instructor, and I was held to complete the paperwork. Before I was done, I heard a voice from behind tell me that he was confused as to who the instructor was between both of us, as I had a banging body. I blushed and turned. I was taken back because, although it was cliché to expect gym guides to be hot, this guy was burning with beauty. He introduced himself and started to take me through the ropes. Since I had no idea of what I was aiming for, we focused on bodybuilding. Every time our skin came in contact, I felt tingles. When the morning session was over, he gave me a time for the evening. The gym was vacant except for him when I returned in the evening. He was bare-chested, and I found myself swallowing air, trying to steady myself from rushing to trace his chest. I asked if others were already done with workouts, and he told me yes. He said he just chose to set a different time because he wanted to make me feel comfortable to get used to my routine. He came close to me and asked that I feel safe with him because he won't do anything that I didn't want him to. After workouts, he said we needed to do hamstring stretching. He made me lie down and started raising my legs. He said they were too tight and I needed to relax so he could loosen them. He began to touch my legs and it turned me on, but I didn't want to tell him to stop because I didn't want to seem like a woman who had no control of herself. When I moaned, I thought the earth should have opened up and swallowed me, but when I looked at him, he was smiling. He asked if I was all right. I said yes. He continued and even moved down to my inner thighs. He stopped and asked if I wanted more. I said I was married. He said that wasn't the question, so I said yes, I did. He did things to me. He touched me in places I didn't even know I could feel anything in. Then he turned me over and gave me what I thought was the best sex in my life. He brought my fantasies to life. When we were done, I felt shy and hurried home. I explained to Sean that I got caught up with the ladies at the gym, hence my lateness. The next day, I hurried to leave for the gym in the morning, but Lena was in my sitting room when I came down. She didn't look pleased, but if Sean noticed, he didn't say anything. He kissed me and left for work. Lena said I was treading on dangerous grounds as soon as he left. She said she knew what went on at that gym, which was why she avoided it. She advised me to quit before it was too late. I thanked her and said I would. I didn't go for the morning session because I was pissed that it wasn't as special as I thought. It was just their modus operandi. But in the evening, I found myself rushing in and flinging myself on my instructor. Even he was shocked. He said he knew I'll be back. We had sex again. I frequented the gym a lot that week despite Lena's advice. I couldn't get over gym guy. When Sean asked how everything was going, I told him that I was spending more time with the women because one of them was planning a charity event. And given my profession in grant management, I had a vital role to play. Sean was so happy for me, he decided moving was a really good idea. He said he liked the way I was glowing and energized. He told me he had reached out to a client-turned-friend in his firm who ran a nonprofit and said I would be contacted for an interview in the coming week. Unfortunately, Lena and I had a fight that week because she found out I wasn't just frequenting the gym, but I had developed a relationship with an instructor. I was stunned as to how she knew. It had to be the lady who introduced me that spilled. However, I told Lena I was an adult and she had no right to police me around. I had no idea why I said that. I should have just denied it, but as I was about to apologize, I got a call in about the interview Sean scheduled for me. By the time I was done, Lena had walked out angrily. That night, when I got back from my rendezvous with the instructor, I met Sean pacing up and down our condo. He had tears in his eyes. He asked me what I was really doing at the gym. Working out, I said. He said Lena's husband had called him up and told him I was cheating. Apparently, Lena had blurted everything out to her husband. I wanted to deny it because how could anyone prove I was having an affair? But the hurt in Sean's eyes made me confess. I started to cry. It was then I realized my folly. Sean asked why I never told him that our sex life lacked the spice I wanted. He said I never told him that I wanted more. He said he was going to liberate me so I could have more. He walked out and I haven't seen him in 3 days. I feel so lost without him. I hate Lena for this. Such a bitter goody two-shoes. I don't know what to do at this point. What do I do? How do I get him to talk to me just once? Just once is all I need. Update. Hello, so this isn't good. Not at all. I just want to throw myself off a cliff or whatever. Sean's and my lawyer came to the apartment today. He said Sean asked him to come personally out of respect to serve me divorce papers. He advised that I solicited the services of another lawyer because he could no longer work for me. He said Sean was still at a hotel, but he wanted me out of the condo by the time he was back. Guys, I don't know where to go. I've been trying to reach him to no avail. Our marriage is so young, barely a year old. How can Sean give up on us this way? Surely young people have made such mistakes and deserve second chances. I just realized that I actually love Sean, but I was too enamored by eye candy. I was forced to call Lena so her husband could plead on my behalf. The man didn't even grant me an audience. He said women who didn't respect the sanctity of marriage need not be in it. He told Lena it was a lost cause, that Sean was too traditional to take an unfaithful woman back. Lena managed to get the name of the hotel he was staying in, and I got to the reception, but they wouldn't provide his room number, even though I mentioned that I'm his wife. I've been in the reception for an hour trying to get him to pick up my calls. I'm devastated. How can I fix this? Please just help me. Quick edit. Lena set up a meeting between both of us. She had no options since she was responsible for this. I told her I quit the gym. I can no longer afford it anyway. I can't afford anything. I told her I was trying to turn my life around and make amends because I didn't want to lose Sean. I needed to speak to him. I know he had a hand in getting my interview canceled. I just wanted to apologize for hurting him. He's become so vindictive. It's so unfair. At the meeting, he wouldn't say much to me except to let me know that he had the account on the credit card he gave me blocked, as if I didn't know that already. He said he was moving back in the next day, so I had to move out. I tried everything in me to get him to give me another chance. He wouldn't budge. He said he granted Lena's request to see me, but he was done. His last request was that I sign the divorce papers as quickly as possible. I'm so exhausted. I cannot focus on job hunting or any other thing. I need help. I need Sean. Is there any way I can get out of signing the papers? You can't and will never be able to salvage the mess they made. You cheated on your husband. And now you're upset that he's seeking a divorce? You can't be serious. Actions have consequences, sweetie, and cheating is a pretty major one. If you truly care about Sean, maybe it's time to respect his decision and give him the space he needs. Signing those divorce papers might be the first step in showing some maturity and taking responsibility for your actions. It's time to grow up and learn from your mistakes. Goodbye, cheater.